Hi everyone, welcome to Carla's stitching adventure, and an adventure it has been. I am so sorry I missed February's monthly video, but this is going to be my quarterly wrap-up, we'll call it, and a lot of things have happened. And I've had an epiphany, which is what I'm going to title this video, Carla's Epiphany, I believe. So I usually do the personal things later. But I decided I'm too excited and I don't want to forget anything. So I'm going to tell you personal stuff first. So this past week, this is, by the way, today is March 30th, 2025. And I just spent the last week going to Alabama, took my daughter, her Jeep. She's been down there for Warrant Officer Candidate School at Fort Novacell, Alabama. Most of veterans probably know Fort Novacell as Fort Rucker. She is going into aviation, wants to be a helicopter pilot. Yay for her. But the first step in that process was graduating from the Warrant Officer Candidate School, and she asked for her dad and I to come down for her graduation and pin her Warrant Officer bars. So we did that. And while we were there, of course, I had to look and see where my favorite shop was. Well, one of my many favorites, we'll just say, and that's GaRon Stitchery. So if you haven't visited and you're from the area, you definitely should take a moment and stop in the shop. It's beautiful. I'm going to insert pictures of the shop here. And I'm just going to tell you, I had a fantastic time. It was great visiting with them on, so Rachel's graduation was on Tuesday. And after graduation, she had to do a lot of processing things. And then Wednesday, she had more processing to do because now she's going to a different unit on the same base. And she needed to move her belongings down there. So she needed to get leave so she could ride back with us, get a U-Haul, and take all of her stuff from the house that's hers back down to an apartment that she has with friends just off base. So long story short, I got to take Wednesday and surprise two of my best fellas, and that is Ronnie and Gary, and visit their shop. They have a brick and mortar shop. They also have an online shop. I will put the link below in the comments, but I also wanted to just show some pictures of my trip, and I will put the pictures of the graduation at the end because there's lots of, they have it in a air museum. So my husband took lots of pictures of planes and helicopters and whatnot after the graduation when we went around the museum. And we spent Thursday driving back, Friday driving back, Saturday we spent celebrating my husband's birthday. He turned 54. So we took him to dinner. I got him a new gun cabinet. He's tickled in pink and all the things. And then today was moving day. So we picked up the U-Haul yesterday. Today we had two movers come. We thought it was going to take a couple hours. They knocked it out in an hour, getting everything loaded. Now it's just a matter of going through and gathering up those loose little tidbits that, you know, find their way into nooks and crannies of Mom's house, and vacuuming and cleaning, so we're not left with a big mess. You know, when somebody moves out, they need to clean up their messes. So she's going to be back at Fort Novacell. I keep wanting to call it Fort Rucker for 2 years, at least 2 years. So it is considered a PCS move, permanent change of station, I believe is what that stands for. At least that's what it used to stand for. So she is full, no longer National Guard. Now she is full-fledged Army. And she's very tickled and she is loving every bit of it. And not everyone in her class graduated. They did graduate 78. And out of the 78, 19 were to be pilots or going into the aviation. And the other 50 some were going to technical skills kind of things, technical things. So they were going to different posts. Anyways, very proud of her. Very happy with my trip to GaRon Stitchery, and I just had to show a few things. I'm going to show some haul right off the bat. So I know you're here for the stitching because, you know, you haven't seen my projects enough. If you're new here, welcome to my stitching adventure. If you are coming back and you have visited me and you have followed with me, I love you guys. I love all your comments and your emails. I feel like I have pen pals because I get to email back and forth with you. I just love it. Made some great friendships and along the way, because this community is fantastic. So, and I still have more epiphanies to share with you, but I will share them as we go. Hopefully I won't forget. So I wanted to show right off the bat my haul. So when I went there to GaRon Stitchery, I got the Stitching in the Wild bag and all kinds of things. I've already got stuff started, but I'm going to show you what I got. I'm going to pull it out of the bag and hopefully show you, and it'll focus. So the first thing I got is a Heart and Hand Nativity. It's the Nativity Tiny Town. So hopefully it is focusing on that and you can see that. I want to do the drum for my daughter, for her to have down there, so she'll have a nativity for Rachel, because she likes all my stuff. Teresa Kogut, Lincoln's Eagle. Let me tell you, when you go to a shop and you see all of the model stitching, and it just sells you. So this is something I've been wanting to stitch. I really like Lincoln. I like patriotic, but I really like it. I like Teresa Kogut. But then when I saw the model, I was like, yep, gonna stitch it. And truth be told, I gave my husband free rein to pick, because he was like, there's a lot of really cool patterns, like a lot of cool designs that he liked. So I said, well, pick some. He picked way more than I purchased. I had to cut him back down a little bit because I was on a budget. But some of these are ones he picked that I didn't even think and consider that it would be something that he would like, but he really did. So, and a few more that I have Gary kitting up for me, which I will insert a picture after we go through the haul, because I want you to join me. I think I'm going to do it as a sound. Okay. I feel like I'm just like squirrel, and I apologize if I am like squirreling all over the place, but it's really, I'm just super excited. Feel like I haven't talked to you guys for so long, and girls, I don't want to exclude anybody, guys and girls, for so long, because I have been so crazy busy, or things have been so crazy in my house because Rachel was here for us for the month, and it's just been a lot. And then she was at school, and so I feel like I want to get back into a routine. And I told my husband, now that I have another empty room in the house, I want to set up like a permanent video place. And I want to try and do some stitch with me, some whips, whipping chats, because I've been diamond painting a little bit too. I've got some of those to share with you. And that way, because that's half of the problem is it's a lot to set everything up, between the lights and the camera and the microphones and, you know, setting everything up. It takes a while, and that's stitchy time. I mean, we've been working on getting this set up. I swear it's been 45 minutes. So, and I still haven't edited yet, but my mouth keeps running. Okay, back to haul. I got Raise the Roof, Sam Socks, Shorts and Such. That was one that my husband Nestor picked. This one he liked, SilverCreek, Reaping Love. He's like, I like that Reaper. This was one of the model stitches as well. And it's SilverCreek Samplers, Reaping Love. And so definitely going to have to stitch that. He wanted me to start that right away. I was really surprised by what he picked. Would not have thought. Waxing Moon Designs, Eat, Drink, and Be Scary. I mean, I don't know where he got these things from, but he was like, that's cool. That's cool. I've never seen him so excited. Of course, he picked a lot of things that had a lot of backstitch. So, Glendon Place. This is Wicked Witch of Everything. He really liked the model. He's like, I really like that. So, this will be one that I will be stitching. It was really cute. The model was really cute. So, I will be stitching that. This one, I'm going to, Gary talked me into this one. He didn't have to talk very hard. But this is a new design. It's coming by Christy Bernstein. She used Cotton Garden threads. It was stitched on a 36 count fabric by Stephanie called Gary Green. So I have fabrics by Stephanie, and I do have the Gary Green. I did get a 32 count Lugana. Did not measure that, so I certainly hope that this will work. I'm sure it will. He handed it all to me. It surely should. Hold on, let me give you. Also, we have Gary's Flamingo is what it's called. So hopefully you can see that. Gary's Flamingo. You know I like flamingos, and it only has 4 colors. So how easy of a stitch will that be? So I really like that. And here are the colors. So we have Ruby, and these are Cottage Garden colors, right? Cottage Garden. These come from Australia, and I have 1 or 2 that has been gifted to me, but I've never used them because I've always been a little, I don't want to say nervous, but yes, nervous. But there's a way to take them out. He showed me all of that they're actually already cut to length. Pretty cool. And this works as your floss drop, and you can also put additional holes in the side if you want to put your leftover flosses. So I thought that was a neat idea he gave me. This is eucalyptus, black ichor, and flamingo. So those are all Cottage Garden threads from Australia. They do have a club. And I'm gonna try these out. I may join that club of the month because I think that it's a great way to build a stash. I was talking to him, I said, part of my problem is I like to use what's called for, and I don't always see these in patterns. And this pattern was specifically designed for, using these, which I think is a fantastic use of the threads. I don't know how many of you, just when you get your pattern, you buy all the threads for it, the specialty threads or the DMC, and you kit it up right away. And how many of you, I'm just interested, I should put up a survey, but how many of you actually get home and then go through your stash and see if you can find it, if you have the color, but you typically don't have the color. But I've done threads of the month, and that's usually, like, I've got lots of not Cottage Garden, Weeks Dye Works, and the other one, Classic Color Works, and Color and Cotton. I've done those threads of the month, so I have a lot of them, but it seems like when I pull pattern, I don't have the right colors. And it's very hard for me in my brain. I do switch out colors, but not very often. I typically go with the called for colors. So there is that, which is really cool. The other thing that I purchased and started is a Monster March. And this is another one by Glendon Place. Sorry, Glendon Place. So my husband saw the version from the top, and I decided to stitch the version on the bottom. The top one Gary had done and had it up as a model. Because I was looking for something that would be easy for me to start and stitch while we traveled, I decided to go with the bottom. It's only got 3 colors. It's 310, dark lavender, which is 333 DMC, and lavender medium, which was 155 DMC. So I went ahead and got those while I was there. I also got a piece of fabric called Busy Izzy. It's an 18 count Ada. I got a piece, I think it's a fat quarter, 18 by 26. I still have this in my Q-snap. I hope you'll forgive me. But I wanted to show Gary that I did make progress. So here I am, where I started. I started in the center of the fabric, and I'm basically working on the page. This will be a ghost over here, but here's the witch. It looks like the witch. I can't get past the hand. It's like reaching into the ghost behind right now. Is what it looks like. And this is like I think this is Frankenstein, maybe? Yeah, no. Some kind of ghoul. It's a ghoulish guy. But all of the people were in black, and it says, let's all do the Monster March. So I think it'll be neat. And I may do the color version too. You know how I am. I don't like to do a lot of backstitch. So with this being my first whip to show you, I did let's see, I totaled up where I'm at so far. Hold on, because I have all these things in front of me. And I like how it's the dye on this. Oop, Ronnie the reindeer, hold on. So on Monster Mash, I've done 1,287 stitches. So that's a pretty good start. And what I'm going to do with this one, because it is such an easy thing to stitch on, and it's Ada, is downstairs I moved one of my Lowry stands downstairs, and it sits by my recliner, and this project will stay down there. So when my husband's getting ready for work, you know, we sit there for like an hour. From the time I get home from work until he leaves for work, we have about an hour blip of time that we try and eat dinner. He gets ready for work, and this will give me something that I can just leisurely stitch on downstairs. So there she be. I hope that focused in. I also, Ronnie, such a gem. I just love these guys. So Ronnie gave me one of his Ronnie reindeer needle minders because I needed a needle minder. I got needles too while I was there because I didn't pack very well for this trip. I usually overpack stitching projects for a trip, and I did not this time. I had to stop somewhere and get scissors. I just got a cheap pair of scissors because I had nothing. I actually did 4 stitches on an ornament because I was sitting in traffic on the way down. There was a car accident, so everything was stopped. We just shut off our vehicles and was sitting waiting for them to clear things. So I was waiting. I thought, well, let me pull out and I'll stitch on one of these little ornaments, you know, the little pillow boxes I got from my sister. I got 4 stitches and realized I did not pack scissors. So that ended that. So then I started diamond painting while I'm sitting in the driver's seat waiting for the traffic to clear so that we could start again on our trip. So that was my haul. So from GaRon Stitchery. So I encourage you to check out the shop. Either check it out online, but even the things I've seen online are nothing compared to seeing it for real in the shop. Which brings me to this picture. This is, I'm going to hopefully remember, I'm going to insert it in here. Gary did a conversion. It's a Halloween conversion to the Christmas lady. I'll call her Christmas lady because I don't remember the name of the pattern. I'm sure some of our seasoned stitchers that follow me will know this pattern and be like slapping me upside the head because I didn't. But I really wasn't drawn to the whole red and green on the dress, on the pattern itself, because it was Christmas colors, wasn't my thing. But when I saw Gary's version, I immediately said I need to stitch that. And it's not very often that I say that about the Nora Corbetts and the Mirabilias, because I don't stitch. I stitch full coverages most of the time, and I'm branching into these other ones. Sorry, I had an itchy nose. So I'm going to insert a picture of it here because he had it up as a model, and I asked him if he would please kit it up for me, and I would send my daughter over to pick it up, and then she can send it to me for my birthday. So he is kitting it up for me. I'm going to pay for it. She can pay the shipping to ship it to me, and my birthday's in June. And my goal is that, I was thinking about it today, that I'd really like to start it in October. It's her birthday in October, but it's Halloween-y colors, we'll just say. And Gary did the conversion. He's going to share that conversion. He will share it if you ask him, especially if you're going to purchase it from his shop. Of course, he would help you with the conversion. But he's putting everything together for me. He's going to mail that or let me know when it's ready. And I will pay for it, and she will go pick it up. It's like, I couldn't believe how close they were. They're like less than 20 miles from the base down there. So it is in Ozark, Alabama. So if that's familiar to you, they're 2 hours north of Panama City. So if that's familiar to you, if any of these areas sound familiar, they're probably a couple hours south of Montgomery. They do stitching in the wild. Not sure when they do that. That's their retreat that they do each year. I did confirm that I definitely will be putting my name in. Now that my daughter's down there for the next 2 years, I definitely need to go to a stitching in the wild. At least I have a place to stay, right? That's close by. And really, I think that's about it with those guys. I could talk about them the whole video and you guys would be bored, right? So let's talk about my other whips, or my finishes. We'll talk about finishes. Okay. So for the quarter, since we're doing quarters, I had 5 finishes, I had 9 starts, and I had 6 page finishes. My quarter total for all of my stitches was 55,935 stitches. I don't think that's too bad. This month, for the month of February, I did 22,401 stitches, which is a record high for me. In the month of March, I did 12,275 stitches, which I missed 3 days because of traveling days down there that I did not stitch. So there were 3 days I did not have any stitches done, and that's the first 3 days. I'm going to give myself 7 days for the year of no stitching, as I had to give myself some kind of grace, because you don't go on trips like this and not give yourself some kind of grace. So 3 days I did absolutely no stitches. And for the month of March, so far, I still have today, the rest of today, and I have tomorrow, 12,275 stitches. I'm not going to make any records, but I'm not really not surprised. So, but I did have 2 finishes. This one, I'm not sure if this was a finish this month or last month, so I decided to show it again. This is one of the ornaments that my sister had given me in the pillow boxes, and I'm almost out of those. And I have another box that she gave me, so I'll have to start diving into that. And the other one I did was the SilverCreek samplers. They have a book they released last year, and it's puns, pin cushions and puns. And this one, I just did it on a scrap of fabric. Look, scrap of fabric. And this is called, I did it 1/1 on this linen. I know this is a fabric dyed by Stephanie, but I don't know the name. And I think it's fabric by Stephanie. Maybe it's not. I'm just going to say it's a mystery fabric, and it's called Crispy Bacon. And that's what it is. Crispy Bacon. So I will finish that probably into a pin cushion. I don't think it's much more than that. It's very small. And hopefully that is focusing in, and I'm giving it enough time to focus. I was going to have my husband do pictures, but then I said, you know what? I'm just going to pull everything out. I haven't talked to you guys, and it feels like forever, so I'm just going to pull it all out. All right, so those are the 2. I have WIP's US Travel Shelf. I've been working on this month, and I almost finished the book. I'm hoping to get it finished tonight. If not tonight, tomorrow night. I want to get this book finished. This is US Travel Shelf. I've done 1,371 stitches on it. I'm just kind of looking to make sure it goes in so you can see it, hopefully. And I've been working over here. So I've gotten this train in. I think this is New Mexico down here. It says Mexico. So I'm just working on this section right here to finish that off. And then I'll come back up to the top and start building across. I started out doing this project on the diagonal, and then realized I was kind of having more fun just by doing it a book at a time and working my way across that way. So that's what I've been doing. So 1,371 stitches done on this, and it will be coming back out. And you can see I have bobbies hanging from a lot of my WIPs. These are bobbies. If you haven't seen them before, they are just little rubber things that you can plop down like this, and it controls your park threads. If you park threads, you wrap the threads around this center piece, and then you just flop it over, and it kind of holds them in place. So I had a couple extra, and I set them there to show you. Okay, in no particular order, I'm going to pull these out, and then I want to show you some diamond painting that I've been doing, if you're interested in seeing it. Let's see, this is Phantom of the Opera, and I do have these all in bags and in scroll rods, and I kind of go back and forth between Q snaps and scroll rods. I do like scroll rods though. So Phantom of the Opera has been busy. It got some work in February, but I don't know the total stitches. I didn't write it down for this video notes on my video notes. Don't want that. So here is where, let me see. Yep, this is where we are. This is how far across it is. I've been working my way down, working on that chandelier. I'm down into here. My goal is to work this whole section down so that I can roll it. So once we fill all this part in, we will be rolling the scroll bars, and we'll work on the bottom half. So that is where we are with Phantom of the Opera at the end of the quarter. And that's why I went ahead and brought all of the projects I worked on this quarter, so at least you could see that I have been working on things. Some things travel better than others. Some things are easier to show than others, but we're going to go with it. This is my chocolate, more chocolate. I know that because it's in a dragon bag. And this was a random act of kindness, or a rack, commonly called a rack, from Corinne and Colleen. And I've done some work on him. This one was worked on in February as well. And this is where I am. So this is as wide as it is. This is a story keep. Is this a story keep? I don't think it is. Actually, I think it's just a chocolate, more chocolate. Randall Spangler. It's on 25 count easy grid. All of my full coverages, unless I say otherwise, are on 25 count easy grid. And I've been working this down. This was going to be a gift for Rachel, who likes Oreo cookies, which is one of the things he's kind of holding down here when I get to it. And I have been working. I had this on the angle. When I got to this corner, I just started working down, and it's about time to start rolling it. So I'm trying to peek around, make sure that it's focusing in. You can see it. This is fun, and it's an easy one to take with me, and because it's small, you know, it's not exorbitantly big. It's kind of small, and I got my little Mothman needle minder on there. But I like stitching on that one. That one's a fun one. Let's see. I don't have a tag on this one. Wonder what this one is. Oh, okay. Oh, this is a new start. That's why I don't have a tag on it. Okay, so this is one of my, I started this at a retreat in February. I went on a retreat. There's my tag. It's a Shannon Christine design. I have it on Grace Notes fabric, 28 count sandstone. It's called Pumpkin Spice. So let me pull out the design so you can see what it's supposed to look like. Here you go. Pumpkin Spice. And I started this at retreat, and I have worked on it quite a bit, and it is going to go with me. I'm going to this coming weekend, Thursday, but for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's a retreat in Pittsburgh called Steel City Stitchers Retreat, and I will be going to that retreat, and I will be taking this project with me. I may be able to get a finish. I'm going to take this one, and I think I'm going to take that Monster Mash with me, just so I have two to work on, and they don't take up a lot of space. So, because I've been to that retreat twice now, and the tables I think are a little bit snug for big girls. I'm a big girl, but a little snug. But so I try to be conscientious of who I'm going to be there with, and not take over everybody's stitching space. So this is how far I've gotten on Pumpkin Spice. So I've got the word pumpkin completed. The cup is completed, and now, excuse me. Excuse me, sorry about that. I may do some back stitching on the lid. I haven't decided yet. I can see it fine. I just don't know that you can see it. And I also have been working on the pumpkin here. There's a pumpkin here, and then the word spice. So feasibly, could it get done? It could, if I stitched on it while I'm there. So that's on Grace Notes fabric sandstone and Shannon design pumpkin spice. So that was a new start. And honestly, I can't tell you how many stitches, because that was February. I haven't stitched on it this month. So, oh, I need to set that, sorry, over there so I don't forget that that's what I'm taking with me. Okay, here is the Long Dog Sampler, Love at First Sight. I have been doing this with Silks for You. It is on Frosted Lemonade, another Grace Notes fabric on 28 count. I started this January 1st, 2025. It is a SAL. There is a group of us. It's called Stitch Along Friends on Facebook. If you are interested in joining, you can work on any Long Dog Sampler or any SAL, really. We just are encouraging each other. I am doing this with Silks for You, PR 130, which is a green, and PR 185, which is a variegated. And I am changing the colors up. I am stitching it 1/1. Hopefully you can see. It's a little hard to see, but my husband says you shouldn't have to hold it up that close, but when they're little stitches, I think you should. I've been working my way across the bottom, starting into, there's another, like a dragon here. Let me see. Can I? There we go. I can turn that a little bit and lower it a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. Can you see? So that's how far I've gotten. It's been a fun stitch. It's kind of a, I just sit there and randomly pick the colors that I think goes with different things, like the red birds, the green trees, the shelf I made variegated. I don't know, it's sometimes it's even the part that isn't stitched that makes the picture, you know. And so you're stitching along and you're like, oh, did you know that there were 2 bunnies in this tree here, and there's a castle here, or a lighthouse? You know, it's very interesting. Here's a bee. I remember stitching the bee. It's just been fun. So that's been fun stitch. There's many people that are way further than I am, but I don't care. I'm enjoying it. And that's one of my epiphanies, because I have realized that sometimes I stick to projects only because I'm in so many games. I don't want to take new pictures and post them in different games. And I think it's become more of a, not an enjoyment of stitching for me. Oh, it is more of a, I don't want to say it's a chore, because it's not a chore either. I do find the games very motivating. However, I think that at some point, my epiphany. I think I'm going to take a break from the bulk of my games. Not all of them, but I am going to take a break from the bulk of them. Mainly because I want to stitch whatever I want to stitch. I want to be more mobile with my stitching. If I'm up here working on full coverage and not have to stop and take pictures and post them everywhere, or worry about, you know what, I don't feel like stitching on this today. I want to pull this one out and stitch it on instead. And I think I'm going to try that for a little bit and see, at least for this next quarter, I want to compare quarters and see how that goes. We're getting ready to roll into summer months. We're going to be going camping. Some projects are easier to travel with that I could take camping with me, and I don't want to have to try and figure out and post pictures. I want to stitch because I'm enjoying it. So there's some groups I'm staying with. Fun with cross stitch, staying with it. Reason being is it's big stitches, and I can stitch 3, 4, 5 sessions and still not meet the goal for whatever stop I'm at. So I'm all about that. And the other one is the Monopoly game. I'll probably stick with that. It gives me some variety, but I'm not going to stress about if I don't get all of the rolls done. So there's my epiphany, one of them, for what I'm planning to do in this next quarter. It kind of like, I don't know, just saying I'm going to do that takes a load off of my shoulders, like some stress. It's not supposed to be stressful. You're supposed to enjoy your stitching, and I do enjoy my stitching. But when I've been away and out of the routine of coming to my stitching spot every day and having to, I don't want to say that, having to be out in the real world, because I am out in the real world, or diamond painting because I felt like diamond painting, has been a lot of fun and liberating, I guess, for me. It's I don't know. I don't know how to put words to what I'm thinking, but the one thing I realized is I'm not posting in the groups because I was traveling and I wasn't taking a bunch of pictures or posting. I was just stitching for the enjoyment of doing it, and I liked it. And Gary does something, Gary and Ronnie, they do a designer of the month, and he, you know, that really works for him. And I like counting my stitches. I will still count my stitches because I find that motivational for me. But he does a designer of the month where the 1st through the 15th, whoever the designer of the month is, he stitches on that designer. And then he uses the second half of the month to stitch on whatever he wants to stitch on. And I thought that's really a great idea. I don't know that I have the same designers as he does. I could certainly start projects, but I don't really want to start projects per se. I want to whip down. But but I got a lot of full coverages. So I kind of like introducing new smaller projects like the pumpkin spice into the mix so that I can mix up what I'm stitching on and not be always at a big project. Sometimes I just want to have that little thing, that little project, that little stitchy fix, if you will. Okay, Little House Needleworks, my next WIP. This is Little House Neighborhood. This was passed to me from a friend in Australia, Lisa Lane. Sent this to me along with the fabric to stitch this, and I have thoroughly enjoyed this stitch. It is on a piece of dusty 28 count even weave from Paddock Lane Designs. Like I said, I have thoroughly enjoyed stitching this. I am down here. I got a few words at the bottom to still do, but I'm getting there. And this is one that I enjoy stitching on, and it's an easy stitch. And the nice thing about scroll rods is it keeps your fabrics from getting all those wrinkles that's hard to get out because it keeps it on a roll. The bad thing is it's hard to show you everything. So when I do videos, so let's see if we can. This is the top part, or the top half of the project, and it's got squirrels, you know, squirrels. And let me roll. I finished the tree, the lambs, the flower. I think I still have a flower here to do, I'm pretty sure. I don't know why I didn't do that one, but I got the two houses finished. I worked more on the border coming down, and then maybe there isn't a flower there. Oh no, there's not a flower there, that's why. So that whole top section is done, this whole top section, and I did the trees on both sides, and I started working the grass across the bottom. So now I'll have a big house here and a few words, and the border goes across the bottom. So I have another roll in it probably until we're done, but I mean, I love it, love stitching on it, and we're getting close to the bottom. So that is where we're at for the quarter. And I know I haven't given you stitch count totals, but forgive me, it's a quarterly wrap-up, right? This one I like stitching, and this one usually goes to retreat with me too. And the reason it goes to retreat with me is because I have it here, and I have all the pieces, all the colors are already ready to go. And look at the colors, we're almost done. And I believe I got these floss drops from Stitch and Button. She's in Florida. Pretty sure I got those from her. And it's on a ring, which is another thing I like, because now I could take this and I could work on this. It's not going to take up an exorbitant amount of space, and I don't think it's going to go with me on this trip. This one, I think we're going to leave this one at home, but this may go with me when we start camping. This might become my Leave It Camp project, and that way I can stitch on it there. Are you hanging in with me? I haven't lost you yet, have I? I hope not. I know this is a long one. This is Mini Evergreen by Tracy Butler. This is the Heaven and Earth Sal that I have. Nope, I lied. It's not the Heaven and Earth Sal. This is a friend and I are doing this together. So I started this is one of my starts. It's on 25 count easy grid. I started on February 14th when I was at retreat, and it's called Mini Evergreen. I will try to remember, put a picture in here what she will look like, and this is as far as I have gotten. So not much to see. Some blues and some greens and some trees up in here, kind of a little bit of like bluish leaves, but she is not big, fun stitch, but I started it then and I haven't had her out since. So again, another one that I would like to do more stitches on, which with my new plans I will get more stitches, I think, on different projects. You'll see a variety. This is a Tisket, a Tasket. It's a Rosewood Manor. I have it on Grace Notes Fabrics, 25 count. Daniel. I am doing this as a sow with Nancy, the Disorderly Stitcher. I started it October 28th, 2024. I am stitching it 1/1, and I have made some progress. This is February's progress, but progress nonetheless. Oh, sorry. There's a floss tube itchy nose going around. It's like the frog that goes around and bothers stitchers. The itchy nose goes around and bothers floss tubers. I'm telling you. Okay. So sorry for the itchy nose. Here we go. Hard to see. Here we go. This is, so I have worked my way across. This is the inner border here. I've worked my way across to that corner. There is more here on the side. I'm filling in the flowers as I go. I've just tried to seesaw back and forth and switch back and forth between the flowers and the colors and trying to carry them across. So that's where I have gotten to. And this is a Tisket, a Tasket. Do I have a picture? If you know Rosewood Manor and you've stitched Rosewood Manors, you know she likes to change up colors. But this is what it will look like when it's done. And I am using the called for floss colors, just not the called for fabric. So I've already made it across the top. Doing it 1/1 on 25 count is going to make it so much smaller. But I think it's going to be pretty. I do think it's going to be pretty. So Tisket, a Tasket. And a lot of my scroll bags, if you're interested, comes from Black Cat X Stitchery. She has an Etsy shop. You can check her out. She will custom make for you. Just tell her what you need. Once Upon a Fairy Tale. This is a Heaven and Earth design. I have it on 28 count as an easy grid fabric. It is a restart for me. I'm doing it 1/1. Jenna Della Grottaglia is the artist. Not much to look at yet, but it's a work in progress, right? I am doing this with Lydia's Leisurely Stitching and Carla. She's from Scotland, I believe. I think she's from Scotland. I can't remember the name of her channel. I'm sorry, Carla. I don't remember the name of your channel. But I watch her, and she does a lot of stitch with me's. The Stitchy Witch, I think. I might be wrong. But you'll know it if you find her because she's from Scotland. This is where I've gotten. Lydia is going to be going to the Steel City Stitcher Retreat, and she asked me to bring this with me so that we could get a picture taken with both of our side by side. I can tell you, Lydia is way further than I am. So it's not much to take a picture of, but wouldn't it be funny if I passed her up at some point? I won't, but it would be funny if I did. This is a project that I've been wanting to stitch because I want to hang it on the door coming into my stitching room. That's the only reason why I want to stitch it, is it's like, it gives me this feeling of this secret garden getaway, you know, like you're going to this secret spot in this door. So I want to finish it just so I can hang it on the door coming into this room. I think it will be neat. It's like my little secret getaway. Okay, sorry, I'm kind of reaching because I leaned everything against the closet over here. This one is Alligator Girl. I like stitching on this one. I say that a lot, but I do. I like the process of stitching. I like the progress I'm making, and I'm just having fun, right? So this is Alligator Girl. It's on 25 count, 1/1. It's by Jasmine. Becket Griffith is the artist. It's a Heaven and Earth design, and this is where I am. As I'm trying to peek in here to make sure you can see. Okay, so this is where I am, and I've made it all the way across and then started back across. This is a royal row method. I will say loosely royal row method. And I'm working my way back across because that just felt right at the time. That's what I felt like doing. Usually I just come back over and come back across, but I worked this blue down to work in threads, and I was like, I'll just work this bit, so won't be any lines, right? So this is where I am on Alligator Girl. And it has been fun to stitch on this one. This is like a swamp, and I don't know. I thought it was kind of like a female Green Lantern. I'll post a picture of what it should look like when it's done. But to me, it was like a female Green Lantern. My husband was all into these characters. And so I showed him, he's like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I started stitching it thinking he would really like it. But now he's like into this other stuff. So, but I like stitching her, so I'm going to continue. This is the Twin Towers by Teresa Clark. It is an artisy pattern. I'm doing it on 25 count easy grid 1/1, and these are stitches I made. Remember at the beginning of the quarter, some of my projects hit their goal right off the bat that I had for the quarterly goal. So this is how far I am, and I keep my projects on scroll rods, but I loosen it so that they're not tight. This isn't tight. I will tighten it when I'm ready to stitch on it. But that is where I have gotten to. And excuse me, I'm really this is the Twin Towers, and my in-laws are from New York, so this is near and dear to my heart. You know, with the towers coming down September 11th, I always want to pull it out. But I did stitch it this year. I don't think it'll be a finish, but it's not full of confetti bad, so it could potentially be, you know, it's an easy one to stitch on. That makes a whole lot of sense, right? Let's see, what else do we have here? This is Innocent Dream. This is the Heaven and Earth Design Sal. The second quarter release just came out. I did do a lot of work on this one, but I still don't have the first done yet. Innocent Dream, 3,762 stitches. And oh, sorry, I thought I missed a stitch, but nope, it's just like a little spark of brightness. This is where I have gotten my aesthetics, if you want to call that. Decor in my house is mostly wildlife, like moose and fish and bears and wildlife. I don't have any bunnies, so this will be a bunny in my house. So this, you can see, this is the bottom. There was 4 pages released. It goes over to here. I don't get I started out doing it on the diagonal. I've kind of switched to royal rows, then back to diagonal. You can see a little cabbage leaf down here. You can see the ears here. I believe the next release should be this next section down. In order to be considered a successful participant of the SAL, is you would have to finish 6 pages. So 6 pages to be done. I am close. I don't think I completely finished down here. Yeah, see, I got these down here. So I didn't actually quote unquote finish the page because I had threads here that I know I'm going to need below, and I'm a parker. So once I get my next release, I can work these stitches in, and then I'll have some page finishes. Definitely 1, if not 2. So I'm close. So that is the Heaven and Earth Design Sal. One of the 12 patterns. So I started this January 4th. 1/1. It's an L and L design on 25 count. I like stitching on it. It's an easy. Hasn't been too awful bad with confetti, which, you know, confetti's a thing, and I don't mind it. Okay, next up, this is Huckleberry Farm. I'm looking to see if I have a picture. Oop, I do not have the picture here. I only made a working copy, so I will put a picture in if I can find it. Yep, I just have the working copy. I was just double checking. So I just have a working copy, not the actual cover photo. So this is on Grace Knows Fabrics Barbara. It's a 25 count, 1/1. And sorry, I'm working it out of my bag. My end rods are a little wide for the top of the bag. Okay. So what did I work on? I worked down this side and down this side. Worked on some of the letters a little bit. If you can see that. And I'm almost like, this is the halfway is here. So, you know, we're close, right? I have a lot more done than you would think, because here's the top. And remember, this is over 1. I know it's not centered side to side, but I can trim that later. I typically start, see, I've got lots of fabric above this. I don't even know how I started this way, but hopefully I got enough to get to the bottom, right? So we got the yellow house on top. That was fun to stitch. The honey pot, the bears in the mountains. This look, there's a little chippy over here. Hopefully you can see the chippy. There's a hummingbird. Just a lot of fun. This is a nice spun stitch. Again, it's by the Blue Flower, and I'm over halfway. So, and I do enjoy the 1/1 stitching. Guess what? Your threads lay flat when you stitch over 1. I am doing my monster mesh though 2/1, so you know, but it's in black, so it's okay, right? Okay. So that's another one that I like because it is kitted with my floss. I have all my floss pulled, and I've realized I like pulling the floss. Oh, bless you, Charlie. Charlie's over here off camera. So I've started trying to actually do that. Kit it up on a ring or Pecos if it's my full coverages, because I'd rather do that than keep pulling it off my Annie keepers, which my Annie keepers I love. That's what I use to kit these projects up with. Some of these have been started before I was using my Annie's keepers in such a way. So, but that makes this one a project that could go with me to camp. It doesn't take up much space for me to do that. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to save that one for last. Let's pull out. This is, guess what? An Amazing Animal Kingdom by Aimee Stewart. Heaven and Earth design on 25 count easy grid, 1/1. I have been busy with this one. Not busy enough to finish anything though, right? Here we go. Sorry, my stuff is slapping against. So this one I am stitching mostly on the diagonal for the most part. And you can see I've been working, there's a peacock here, a toucan up here, we got a baby monkey down here, the big mama monkey here, a bird up here, the books in the background. I'm going to be getting into the sky. There's a little baby elephant down here, haven't quite gotten him yet. Still working on the back of the big mama elephant. So hopefully that's focusing in and you can see that. Oh, and there's a bird down here too that's flying from the shelf below. This is just the top shelf. I still have a lot more to go. So that is Amazing Animal Kingdom. And last but not least, what have I been working on this quarter has been my Stargazer, and I love stitching on Stargazer. My husband calls this Tinter Dude. He also complains that he will never get his Tinter Dude done. This was a limited edition by Heaven and Earth Designs. It's a 25 count, 1/1. I have it on my Omnic frame. It's probably for the size, it's definitely the furthest along. But I think Phantom of the Opera and my Twin Towers, percentage-wise, is further than I am with this. So my goal was to get this to 40% by the end of this year. I am getting ready to probably roll the scrolls once I get to this end this time. And you want to see it? because everybody likes this one. I may do a stitch with me with this one at some point, but this is where I am. Hopefully you're seeing the full thing. But this is Stargazer. And so, let me see if I can. I've been working across here. I'm about to hit this lantern, and once I get over here, I think I'm going to roll the scroll rod. So you won't see that part for a bit. It'll look like a whole new blank canvas. But hopefully you're seeing it now. But this is the, I like this one because it goes, like, there's sections, it's not, there's like 2 or 3 colors of these purples and blues, and then you hit some confetti. Then you get a break from the confetti, and then you hit some more confetti. Like, it's the way it's been stitching up. I can get big stitches for the challenge groups when I want to stitch on this, as long as I'm not in a confetti area, right? So those are the WIPs that have made my quarterly debut. I did not bring out finishes other than what I finished this past month. I apologize, I didn't pull out the other ones. I'm preparing some of my finishes to take to Steel City Stitchers to give to my dear friend Colleen, who is going to lace them for me and give them back to me whenever I go to the Grace Notes Fabrics retreat, which is in August. I do believe that that retreat is sold out and they have a waiting list. I am expecting to pick up my Titanic box this weekend when I am at that retreat, and she's also kitting up another new start. I'm going to be working on Jeff Haynie's Aquatic Fantasies. I am starting it at the end of this month, and it is a tribute to my cat Charlie, and my husband too, because it's an aquarium. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I thought I had pulled it out to show you, and I didn't. So maybe I'll show you that next time. The other things that I have finished and I have worked on this month has been my diamond painting, because not all crafty people stick with one craft. I know many of you are quilters that are here that follow me. So shout out to you quilters. But I've been working on just some diamond paintings. So I'm going to show you these ones I took with me. I took this kit with me. It is from Diamond Art Club. It's their SeaWorld Mini Dazzles is what they call them. And I took it with me on the trip, and I finished them all while I was there. So this was easy, no thinking required. There's an octopus, starfish, and the what is this, jellyfish. And the whole reason for these, that I got these, was I thought, oh, those will make nice like card inserts. Here's a shrimp. It'll make like nice cards. You can put them into cards and, you know, to mail to people. And then I saw some people's channels that they frame them and make like a collage. You have a crab, and my daughter is all into the sea life, so, and a seahorse. Samantha, I think, must be doing well. You know, she's out in the big world, and don't hear anything from her these days because, you know, she's doing her own thing as a new adult in the big world. But I understand she may have a job working as an accountant, which is great for her. Just wish we could hear from her a little bit more than we do. I had another diamond art finish, and it is Patriotic Gnome. It is a Diamond Art Club. It is round diamonds, and so I'm going to show and share it with you. This is Patriotic Gnome. So I made this. This top is a magnet bar, and it will hang. I'm going to hang it in my window at work. So I trimmed off the edges, and I put this top and bottom has got this magnetic wooden bar and hanger. And this is Patriotic Gnome by Diamond Art Club. So fun. I'm working on another one, but I did not bring it up to show you because it's, you know, I'll wait to show them when I finish them, I think. unless I do a whip-in chat with them, which I may do, because how I'm set up to do that is a lot easier than how I'm set up for my stitching right now. So I could easily do a whip-in chat if I wanted to. And I'm going to give you my last, or if you're interested, maybe you're not interested, I don't know. If you're interested and you'd like to see like a stitch with me or a whip-in chat where I work on my diamond painting and we chat while I diamond paint, you know, leave me a comment below and let me know if that's something you would be interested in. My other epiphany is I want to start doing more frequent videos now that life is trying to settle back in, and by switching up how I'm doing my stitches as not always being for a challenge per se, and I'm stitching what I want. I think I could do, if not weekly, every other week videos, but I would like to try and do weekly videos. So I'm going to see how that works, and they won't be quite as long. And so hopefully you're still here. I keep saying hopefully while I look at Charlie, who's over here sound asleep, has slept through our entire video, hasn't even moved. If you are still here with me, thank you for sticking it out with me. I will look at doing a giveaways when I start doing more regular weekly videos, because I can do small things to share with the community. Hopefully you have enjoyed all of my whips and the progress that I've had, and I can edit this to make it make sense to even the new people that have just found my channel. Thank you for coming to visit, and I will see you next time. Happy stitching, everybody. Bye. Oh, before I forget, if you're interested in seeing the pictures of the graduation and additional pictures from my time with GaRon Stitchery, please stick around. I'll pop some pictures at the end.